Hey guys, it's Ashton here today, and I'm gonna
With
be
Beast
doing
Gamer, yeah.
with Beast Gamer 165. Go check out his channel. He's a pretty good YouTuber. Today we're gonna be doing a reactions video to Scary Field Trip Horror Stories Animated. Shout out to Llama Arts. He's the one that he or she is the one that created this video. Let's jump right in. I don't know how high the volume is.
Scary Field Trip Stories.
Horror
Oh,
stories.
get me in the camera. I'm not in the camera.
I didn't do that. Okay.
Back in high school, I took a mysteries and mythology type class, or something like that. I don't remember the name of the class.
Okay.
It basically just had to do with real life mysteries and creepy shit. I was into that kind of stuff. I was taking the class with a good friend, who I'll call Ben for this story.
Okay.
The teacher of the class took us on a field trip to a nearby abandoned village with an unknown past.
Bad idea.
The village was built in the early 1900s, but seems as though it had been quickly abandoned shortly after it was built. The bus ride there was about 20 minutes. All of us were glued to the bus windows as we pulled up some sketchy-looking, decrepit road cutting through dense forest.
Ooh.
The road eventually led to a clearing. We were there.
Okay, well, first of all,
Why
Why?
go there? Yeah.
Why?
Like, I'd much rather visit the sewer than go to that place.
I mean, I've already seen this. I already see the tripping balls, creepy stuff that's already happened in this video. And one, never mind, not even gonna say it because it's a spoiler alert.
Okay, let's just get right into it again.
Yeah, let's just jump back into it. I wouldn't visit this place because
No.
I already see that it's animated, that it's pretty scary. It's dark outside. Why
Yeah.
visit at night?
Yeah, like why not go and like maybe 8 o'clock in the morning so you know you have time to run before it gets dark.
Yeah. Okay.
Said no one in scary movies.
True that. Let's jump back in.
We stepped out onto the road, which had grass growing through the cracks.
Okay.
The grass surrounding was almost knee-high.
Seems pretty scary. Grass growing through the cracks at a...
Yeah, that's how you know it's old.
Yeah, that's how you know it's old. From like years ago.
Then there were the buildings. The tall, archaic brick buildings with the boarded-up windows all gave off such chilling vibes. The
First of
teacher
all-
lined all 20 of us up.
First of all, has the teacher been there before? Or, like, is he like a demon or something, just trying to get lured in there or something like that? Because why would the teacher just randomly come up with we're going to a scary village in the middle of a forest?
Well, one, they're doing the filter for a study because they're studying that.
Yeah.
And they're going to be taking notes on how...
But
on
why
how it would
that?
look. I don't know.
Counted heads, and then began leading the way. The point of this little field trip was to use the so-called skills we learned in class to see if we could put anything together about why the village may have been abandoned so long ago.
Never mind.
Some of the buildings had holes in the walls to serve as entryways.
Maybe
There
like
were
a
even
demon.
holes in the ground next to some of the buildings, seemingly dug to get into the basements of some of the buildings, which seemed creepy. There was one building, though. It stood taller than any of the others.
Then why go in
It
there?
just intrigued me
How
the
much will bet
most.
they're gonna go in there?
There.
Ooh, I can always call it. They always go into the biggest, scariest building in the whole entire place.
Okay, so sorry for the spoiler, but up here in the top left corner,
Kinda looks like a Minecraft creeper face.
up in the top left corner in the window, that's the only window that's not boarded up. And I think they find they find a hole in the ground that goes into it, or they find a ladder.
Okay, so play it. Let's find out.
Okay.
While the teacher was leading the group towards the village church, Ben and I decided to sneak off on our own to look for anything interesting.
Bad idea.
You called it.
When we walked off in the direction of the tallest building, we saw a hole in the ground. It was dug by the back door of the building, which had been sealed off.
Yep. I called it.
In the hole was a ladder, which led down to the concrete floor
Okay,
below.
one.
First of all, they're gonna go in there. I already know.
Okay, one. At first glance, those leaves look like trail mix. Why is there a board down there? Do you need to beat somebody up with it?
Man,
No.
or maybe it was just the construction gone wrong and they had to. Well, maybe they were just constructing and they abandoned the village because maybe something was blocking the construction and stuff. I don't know.
Oh. We both looked at each other and knew we had to do it. Ben climbed out first, then me. Luckily, this was just around the time Apple started putting flashlights on their phones, so we had a source of light.
Stupid Apple phones.
It was creepy down there. There were a couple of beer bottles, one graffiti tag on the wall, and dusty wooden planks everywhere.
Yeah.
There was a wooden stairway which led up to complete darkness, since all windows and doors had been sealed shut from above.
No.
We had already gone as far as the edge of the building, so we figured we'd go up the stairs too. I went first, and with each step, the creakiness of the 100-year-old wood made me feel as if I was going to fall through each and every
100-year-old wood. Why be freaking walking on that? At least, like, try to unbolt the ladder and put it there. I'm not walking on 100-year-old wood. That would snap any second for how freaking fat I am.
Yeah. I mean, 100-year-old wood, it would break right as soon as you touch it. Maybe.
Exactly.
Depends on what type of wood it is.
Exactly.
Depending on what type of wood it is, it would snap. Right there.
Every step. Ben followed suit.
Watch Ben disappear.
This floor of the building was very tight. It seemed like there were many openings going off into different, smaller rooms. It was so dark in there, you would never even guess it was daytime. Ben and I were honestly starting to get creeped out in there, and agreed to go back outside.
Yeah.
But just then, there was a noise in one of the tiny rooms. Like a big rock hitting the concrete floor.
Don't go in, just watch.
A normal instinct would be to run, but Ben and I froze, locked eyes for a moment, then both tiptoed over to the opening of the room.
Exactly.
We shined the lights into the room and ran.
Oh.
We ran back down the stairs and then up the rusty ladder back outside. We caught up to the group out of breath. We didn't say anything, though, to avoid getting in trouble. One of our classmates asked us what was wrong. We told him we snuck into one of the buildings. And in one of the rooms, when we shined the light into it, we saw 3 guys standing maybe 10 feet away from the doorway, facing Ben and I in a weird formation, as if they were waiting for us.
No,
I wouldn't do it.
I would have ran too.
As we continued following the group, we paid extra attention to the tall building we entered from the distance.
Wow.
And before leaving, we saw a person's face at one of the higher level windows that had not been boarded up. We never told the teacher in fear of getting in trouble.
Wait. One second.
Leaving,
We
saw a person's face at one of the...
Yeah, see that figure all the way up? I can't zoom it in, but you can see the figure all the way up, all the way up in the corner window.
Yeah,
what I was talking about in the beginning of the video.
Okay, play it.
That's creepy.
The higher level windows that had not been boarded up. We never told the teacher in fear of getting in trouble.
Yeah.
We didn't know what to think. Were those just homeless people living in there?
Maybe.
Were they gang members in hiding? Ben freaks me out with his theory. He says they were ghosts of the people who once lived in the town.
Maybe.
Still, the way the 3 guys were just hauntingly standing there so calmly, staring at us the moment we peeked our heads through that doorway, I still can't get that image out of my head. I may go back to that village one day, just to staring at us the moment we peeked our heads through that doorway.
There's a zombie, kind of like a hitman assassin, and a monster.
I still can't get that image out of my head.
Yeah.
What would they all be
I
doing?
may go back to that village one day, just to prove Ben's idea wrong.
Oh, now it's over, so he's less afraid. Oh, there's lightning now. There's light up there also.
Not anymore.
Wow, that's scary.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm gonna pause the video here and probably gonna do another video because that was a short one. I'm probably gonna be doing another one like a 2 episode in one. Hi. And I'll see you guys in just a bit.
Peace.
Okay, guys, we're back. We're doing lockdown horror stories. Then again, well, I don't really have to do the shout out again, but still shout out to Llama Arts for making this video. And let's jump right in. Lockdown horror stories. Lockdowns are...
It was a typical boring day in calculus, only it was Friday, 7th period, meaning the week was almost over and spring break would finally be upon us. So everybody was getting antsy in their seats, I could tell. We didn't have a test that day like a lot of my friends did with their other teachers, so our teacher in the middle of class just decided to start playing games with us on Sporkle.com. He was a very laid-back teacher like that. As we were doing some brand logo quiz on Sporkle, I remember the exact moment it happened. Right after my friend answered a question, I remember the exact answer too, Adidas. The dean's voice came through the loudspeaker. He sounded panicked and frantic as he told all the teachers this was not a drill and to go into lockdown. I actually got the chills and I got goosebumps on my arm.
Okay, guys.
Arms, as our usually laid-back teacher, too, seemed panicked as he ran to turn off the lights and ushered us to the back corner of the room. We all sat in silence for about 2 minutes, and then the usual buzzing that came from a panel in the back of the room ceased, indicating that the school must have cut all the power.
That's a smart idea.
We all looked at each other, realizing this must be serious.
In this case, somebody forgot to turn off the lights.
A few more minutes of waiting later, we heard a man screaming at the top of his lungs coming down the hallway. 2 girls in the class actually started crying, which made all of us even more scared.
Yeah, it will.
As the screaming got closer to the classroom, the lunatic-sounding man started banging on the lockers while screaming, "I'll kill all of you."
You won't.
It was at that moment that I started to fear.
First of all, if he started screaming, "I'll kill all of you," that's the point where why I think that teachers should have guns.
Yeah.
There's just cases of, like, they do get in, like, maybe they break the glass and unlock the door or something like that. You have a gun to protect yourself, especially for somebody that wants to kill you all.
Yeah, but then again, with the alternate version, where the teacher goes crazy, pulls out a shotgun and kills the students.
Yeah, but that means you're mentally ill, and they're not going to give you the chance to be a teacher if you're mentally ill.
Yeah.
Or else he just goes crazy. If that happens, it happens.
Yeah. Then that's true. It could be you. Never mind. Back on task.
For my life. My teacher shushed us as we all looked at each other to see our peers'
My
reactions.
eyes are tearing up.
Yeah.
The banging then moved from the lockers to our classroom door,
Oh, God.
and that's when one of the crying
Whoa.
girls screamed no. The banging on the door only grew worse as the man started screaming, "Open up."
Ugly.
2 of the girls in the class were crying out loud now. It felt like an eternity that man was pounding at the door, but eventually he finally continued down the hallway, screaming like a mentally insane person until we could not hear him anymore. I'd say 10 minutes later, though it felt like half an hour given the situation, the dean came back on the loudspeaker explaining the situation.
Hey, wait a minute. You're scared to go to school, take a fork in your pocket.
Yeah, I mean, it's technically not a weapon.
Yeah.
Because, it's a fork.
Don't actually take a fork in your pocket.
I mean, but if you do, you could just say, "I don't like using sporks. I want an actual fork." And use that fork. Or just say, "I don't like..."
No, I'm saying, like, don't take a fork in your pocket.
Oh, yeah.
Because you could trip and fall and cut your leg open. But if you are going to take a fork to school, put it in your backpack. Or lunchbox, whatever. Yeah, let's jump back in.
Which was surprising for him to do. He explained that some apparently mentally unstable person entered the building and assaulted the woman sitting at the front desk, causing her to flee the building screaming, and staff wasn't sure if the man was armed or not.
Okay, 1 second.
Mentally unstable person.
1, that doll in the background, the bobblehead, creepy. And 2, why?
Like, and also too, if it's like a school that has no security or anything like that, why not have like bulletproof glass at least?
Yeah.
So that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Or
How
at
long
least
is the video?
Hmm?
How long is the video so far? No, the actual video.
15 minutes.
Okay.
Person entered the building and assaulted the woman sitting at the front desk, causing her to flee.
Or other one. His shadow looks like a thumb.
Yeah, kind of.
So what do they just do? Trace the thumb and make it a shadow?
I don't know. Just keep going.
The building screaming, and staff wasn't sure if the man was armed or not. Now, this was before the school had cameras or could afford proper security, so the school was wide open to something like this happening.
True.
The staff had done a sweep of all the hallways and classrooms and couldn't find him, so the dean instructed the teachers to resume teaching, but to keep all the doors locked, and to not let any students leave for any reasons.
Well, if they have to go to the bathroom, then what? They just...
Freaking
What do they
pee their
do?
pants.
What do? Keep a plant in there and say, I gotta go to the bathroom.
I don't
Go
know.
and pop squat and
I
pee
mean,
in the plant.
it's the last day. It's the last day, so how are they supposed to get out of the school?
Yeah. What do they do? Jump through a window?
Okay, let's keep going.
Okay.
The most disturbing part, however, is that one of the janitors working the night shift found the man sleeping in one of the storage closets near the back end of the school, and according to rumors that were spread by my peers, sticking out of his pocket was a .44 Magnum. The janitor must have done something stupid to wake him up, for example, leaving the closet door open, because by the time a police officer could arrive on the scene, the man was gone. My entire class, as far as I know, to this day, has no idea if this man was ever found, but I like to think that right now, he's being given the proper help that he needs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's just gonna pretty much do it.
Yep. Okay, so that pretty much wraps everything up. That's my very first episode of the series of reacting to scary videos, or any videos at all. So, if you liked it, punch the like button in the face. Subscribe and drop a comment down below of what you want me to do next, or anything at all. And see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.